Hi, another way to kill a business. There's a lot, I know. This one I just saw play out recently, and I've seen it up close a couple of times. Enough over my 20 years in this industry to know that there's a pattern here and it's worth talking about. Um, it can be a lot of fun. This one takes a while, but eventually ends up in a train wreck. So this is a cautionary tale. And this is the pattern that I've seen play out. Business is going well and it's being very successful. It's generating cash and making money. And then the owner gets distracted, maybe a little bit too confident, maybe moving on to other things, which is okay if some things are in place. The owner goes and hires some professionals, leaves them without supervision, and the professionals get to work at doing what they do. Um, Turns out perhaps they're not so clever. And whilst the business is going well, there's been lots of opportunity for finance, and the business has borrowed money to buy all sorts of great plant and equipment and trucks and vehicles to grow and do more work, which kind of makes sense. Then what happens? They keep winning work, but as they're winning work, the gross margins start to drop. Now the business is losing a little bit of its essence of what it used to be. So the margins are going down little bit by little bit by little bit. Cost controls aren't in place. The owner loses visibility of the actual results. And one common thing is the estimates not being built up from direct costs and a known cost base, just kind of rates plucked from the ether. As we know, costs have been increasing so much lately, this can mean the business is pricing work that is actually at a much lower margin than they thought or historically have. There's an overhead bloat. The pros are building their empire. They need people, they want to build things, and soon enough that headcount comes up, that death by 1,000 cuts of all the subscriptions and different things and training, and there's just this bloat of overhead. What was an efficient, lean, small, medium-sized businesses is now a bad version of a corporate. And I don't want to blame the professionals, but sometimes they come in and they're left unsupervised, and that's what they build. So cash gets sucked up. It happens slowly. It's month after month, and it's sucked up through, through reworks and defects. It's sucked up through inefficiency. It's sucked up through lower margin. Sucked up through waste, and it does happen slowly. But the slow build accelerates. And then it happens all at once, which is a scary thing. It puts in some money and some more, and then there's a couple of quiet months in a row. The buffer's gone, cash and the margin. The buffer is gone. And that creates the emergency. Now, this emergency was a long time coming, and it seems all of a sudden, but it started 18 months ago. Maybe terminal, maybe salvageable. Don't know. Either way, it didn't have to happen, and it's going to be very hard to dig out. What do the good businesses do? The ones that are building wealth and generating cash, and there's loads of them, and they are doing some common things. The boring stuff, things that made them successful in the first place. They're not reinventing the wheel. It's actually really boring. It's relentless cost control. It's persistent marketing. It's developing their people. It's financial controls. It's 12 months rolling forecast. They're seeing trouble before it comes. And I could go on. There is loads of things that the good businesses are doing. There's some of the key ones. But if I could choose one thing, and we do this with all our clients, is a 12-month rolling forecast, like my profit planner. Looking ahead as far as you can, and 12 months seems a stretch for a lot of businesses, but it makes perfect sense when you start to roll it out on a weekly basis. Changes the dynamic and the thought process for the whole team. If the whole team is looking at what's happening in 6 weeks' time, they can make changes now to adjust for it. And with the profit planner, you're looking at your break-even analysis, your cash flow, your resource planning, all these things very tidy, cleanly represented in a simple format. It's one thing that can make a massive difference and avoid this train wreck that starts slowly and ends up terribly. And that's not every business. That's only a few. There is a pattern. I've seen it enough. I'm sure it's not your business. I'm just saying, beware of it. Don't do what those businesses did.